it's a lot of people um, presenting bits and pieces of different information, all over the place. And what I've noticed is that a lot of people really don't have a full understanding of the things that they be talking about. All right, and sometimes what happens is uh, people get into a situation to where they think something is not for them, or they think something is bad, or they think something is from somebody else and it's not from them, or it's not of them, because they don't have a full understanding of what it is that they're talking about. And this ties directly into what I want to speak about far as religion goes. The worst thing in religion right now is that people think that their book is people think that book is a history book, and it's not a history book. It's a book of secret code that contains secret messages. It's an occult book, and it was written in a way to speak to certain initiates, and it was also written in a way to throw people off. Okay, to throw people off who's not initiated, and to think that this thing is talking about something totally different. So my theory is this, because I give y'all a rundown on, especially on how Christianity came into being that all of these ancient texts was deciphered and put into a different language and created what you know as Gnosticism, Coptic Christianity, and the list goes on and on. But my theory is that, and it's very obvious, that when these works was translated, they had to be translated by priests at that time. All right? And these priests at that time, they were taking orders from the army or the people that's in power, i.e. the Romans, right, when they came in, and the Greeks when they had power, etc., etc., etc. So the people that's in power, the army and the rulers, they don't have the information, they don't have the knowledge. But they do have the power to mandate and say, this is what it is, and this is the way that the story is going to go. Okay, we know, we hear what you're saying that this story is, but we want to change this part and make it like this, blah, 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 blah. And my theory is that the priests, that's when the code was injected inside of the text. That's when the knowledge became secret. Because before that, it was the mystery school, which was only given to those who the people that was in control of the world at that time, or control of the region at that time, deserved. They felt like they deserved the knowledge or information. Sort of like a rites of passage type of thing, right? In a particular bloodline, or, whoever had the power, if they felt like you deserved that knowledge and information, you might get more than others. But this is when the knowledge became secret. Once the Greeks and the Romans came in, this is when the knowledge became secret, because now, and more so, not as much from the Greeks, but even from the Greeks, but not as much, but even more when the Romans came in. because certain things had to be hid inside of a shell. So the knowledge that most people are getting from these biblical texts, they are only getting a shell. They're not getting the true essence and the true spirit and the true soul of the actual text because they are not initiated. Right? And so these today preachers and priests, they are initiated in a certain school of thought and don't have the profound understanding of the priesthood. And some of them may have, if they are Masons and things of that nature, and if they are really a part of a certain lodge that deals with universal information and just chose the job of just solely teaching from the Bible in the mundane aspect. Maybe so. I don't know any personally. I don't know if reverends are actually Masons. I don't know. But what I do know is what they're teaching is very harmful in all actuality, because a great deal is being left out. So even in the shell, what I call the shell, which is the exoteric, the shell of the information, even though there's principles in certain situations that you can get, but you're still not getting the high knowledge that's going to illuminate you. So it all boils down to this. Do you want to just believe in God, or do you want to experience God? Because the real knowledge and the real information, okay, that was on this planet prior to the knowledge that was suppressed or had to be hidden away, right, from danger, from people who they knew that they could get murdered for it, and everything like that, because it's power inside of the information, and it's power that you are not supposed to have, because you have a ruler over you who are declaring power in the physical matrix. All right. So I don't want to lose y'all, but it's really deep and it's really real. But it is what it is. So you got to understand that this stuff is metaphysical, because the only way that you can really, really deeply understand this, you got to have the first basic understanding that you are more than a physical vessel. So when you understand that you are more than a physical vessel, you understand that the physical vessel is temporary. And at some point, we all have to leave this physical vessel. And I believe that we only are here in the physical vessel to greatly understand how we are more of the physical vessel. I always speak about how we are supposed to surpass the human mind and the human experience and realize the higher experience of a spiritual nature of the soul. So the ancient knowledge and the ancient information is basically saying this. And this is why I've been attracted to what is called Kabbalah so much, is because basically Kabbalah is that. That's what Kabbalah is. It is an extension. Kabbalah is an extension of the ancient mystery school. Kabbalah is an extension of the information that has been suppressed. All right. And so through studying Kabbalah, you are going to be revealed to the soul of the text, the soul of the information that was encrypted inside of something that you thought was just a history book and just, a book about, some dudes and some families that was just, brought here by God, and, they was just really cool, and, everybody else just worship them, learn from them. No. This thing is talking about something totally different that relates to you and every other human being. And it's speaking about a certain nature of you and the capacity and the I lost the word. I hate when I try to reach for something. It seems like the more you reach for it, the more you push it away. Not probability, but potential. Jesus Christ. It took me that long to find potential in my mind. So, your full potential in spiritual development. All right? And this spiritual development is going to bring you to a state which is termed in Gnostic, in the Gnostic tradition, as Gnosis. You got to understand that the Gnostic tradition, the Kabbalah tradition, the ancient, what do they call it, Vedic tradition, all of the ancient traditions, ancient Kemet, ancient Sumerian, it's all rooted in the same thing, okay? Which is Gnosis, which is reaching the higher plane and becoming a vessel for the higher energy. Because, see, what essentially happened is we cut ourselves off from a river of spiritual influx. All right, we are like, we are connected to things higher than us spiritually. And we cut ourselves off from that. And through certain knowledge and through certain teachers and through a lot of study, you can find your way back and make that connection. But you got to understand, the whole inception of the world that we living in today is rooted in cutting you off from that connection. See, that this is where it gets deep at, and what you got to understand is that you're not supposed to have that connection. That connection was cut off from you. So, and this, this is all rooted in the human or the man, realizing who and what he is. And, this is tied into the development, through the ages. Development of the mind and development of the soul through the ages. And you can get a clearer picture of this if you really study. All right? And so, a great example of what I was speaking about is, and I'll say this and I'll shut down, is a video that I did on my channel. I believe it was last year. And, from studying Kabbalah and becoming interested in this tradition, I did pretty much like, my own breakdown on the first verse of the Bible. And I was able to do that breakdown because of my study that I have been doing in Kabbalah and the study that I have been doing in ancient traditions, especially ancient Kemet. And see, in the tradition of ancient Kemet, and this is how I made the connection from ancient Kemet to the Gnostic tradition. In ancient Kemet, there's something called Nun. These are the primordial waters that everything comes out of. So, you have Nun, giving birth to, let's say, Ra. Then you have Ra giving birth to, let's say, Nut and Tefnut and things of that nature. Then it becomes a situation to where you have a spiritual essence progressing through stages, or you could say evolution, or evolving down to a material form. And this is the same thing that they're talking about in the Gnostic tradition. And this is the same thing that's being explained through the Sephiroth, and they're speaking about in Genesis, or what's called Bereshit, in the beginning. All right? Or with beginning. All right? In the beginning, or with beginning. All right? And just that word, the first word in the Bible, it's a lot to unpack with it, because the Hebrew language, certain letters and certain words can be deciphered in so many different ways, and you can unpack so much different information out of it. So a lot of things was encrypted in it, encoded. So, Bereshit, better Elohim. In the beginning, God created. But if you read it straight out, is in the beginning created Elohim. And you got to understand that what? Elohim is not God. Elohim is what? What is Elohim? What is Elohim? A lot of people don't know what Elohim really is. They know that it's plural. A lot of people may know that. Some people may know that. Oh, Elohim is plural. But what in the world is the Elohim? What is Yahavah? What is the Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh? What is Yahavah? What is in the beginning? What was the beginning? The beginning was what? See, in Kabbalah, you have something that they, I don't even know what it's called, honestly. But you have different vibrational frequencies, or different stages of creation. You have the Atzilut. You have the world of Bria. You have the world of Yetzirah. I forget that. I want to say, I forget the other one. Then you have the world of Asiya. So these is different stages of creation. And you see these different stages play out on the Sephiroth, or the tree itself. All right, so this is basically the spiritual influx. Remember what I was talking about, how we have a connection to this spiritual influx, or the spiritual river that was cut off, that was cut off, or we was, detached from. So this spiritual influx is creating itself in different lower vibrational frequencies to reach a physical stage, which is termed as Melkuth, or earth, or the kingdom. All right. So why is this important? Because in the beginning is what? That's in the Atzilut. That's in the Ein Sof Or. The Ein Sof Or, Ein Sof is what? No thing. Or is light, which is also described as the unlimited light. All right. So in Kabbalah, I know I spoke about this before, they believe that God can't be comprehended. All right. That's why it's called no thing. So the Ein Sof or the realm of Keter is not God itself, but this is the highest place closest to that which what we would call God, or in that realm, the highest place. You see? So that's what in the beginning was. That's why in the beginning created God. But it's not God, it's Elohim. Okay? Because Elohim is different from the Tetragrammaton or the Yod Hey Vav Hey. The Elohim is different. Yod Hey Vav Hey and Elohim are one, but it's a different modality. You see? So the Elohim, and some people may understand this, the Elohim. That's why a lot of people who get into Kabbalah understand the importance of the Shema prayer or the Shema prayer. And I probably wouldn't be able to recite it correctly, but it's basically stating, you know, Shema Yisrael.